Okay, so this question here says, if the equation of ax squared plus bx plus 1 equals 0 has equal roots. Okay, so equal roots meaning my discriminant b squared minus 4ac is equal to 0. Okay, so it has equal roots. My discriminant is equal to 0. Express a in terms of b, hence. Okay, well, as soon as it says hence, it means use your answer. So I'm not even going to read the second sentence. Okay, I'm just going to focus in on this first one. If the equation ax squared plus bx plus 1 equals 0. So usually in my minus b formula, okay, or using my discriminant, if I had that equation, I would be writing down what is a from the coefficient of x squared, so just a, what is b, so the coefficient of the x, which is just b, and then what is c, well here it is just 1. Okay, so they didn't really give me much that I can fill into this, but they did give me c. So I'm going to start by just filling in what I can. Okay, I can't really fill in for the b squared or for the a, but c can be subbed in as 1. Okay, so what is 1 times 4a or minus 4a? It's just minus 4a. So I have b squared minus 4a is equal to 0. And the question says express a in terms of b. So get a on a side by itself and b is in your answer. Okay, express a. So find a, isolate a. Okay, so move a onto a side by itself or move everything else onto the other side. Okay, it's up to you which one you want to do. I'm going to move a onto the other side. So I'm going to move all my a terms over to the other side. So they were subtracting. So now they are adding. So that I get b squared is 4a. And I need a by itself, so I'm going to get rid of the 4 that was multiplying it by dividing. Okay, so that I have b squared divided by 4 is a. Okay, so I have now expressed a in terms of b. Now, that's not the question finished. It then says, hence, write down the root of the equation. Okay, so root. Okay, so what is the root of the equation? How would I usually find a root of an equation? I could factorize and solve if it was a quadratic equation, or I could use my minus b formula. Okay, this question, it's already kind of hinted towards minus b formula because I have my a's, b's and c's. Okay, and because it looks complicated, I don't want to start having to multiply by unknowns and stuff like that. My minus b formula, if I write it down and if I can sub something in, then I'm more likely to get some marks. Okay, so let's use our minus b formula and let's use our a, b and c that we wrote down earlier. Okay, so my minus b formula here would be that the roots are equal to minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Okay, so straight away, they want it in terms of b. So they want b to be the only letter in the answer. Okay, I can get rid of c by subbing in 1. But how can I get rid of the a's? Okay, I can't just leave the a's as a's because the question wants them to not be there. It doesn't want a in the answer. Well, what if I can replace a with something in b? Okay, what if I use my answer from over here? So anywhere there was an a, if I actually replace it with something that it's equal to with b. So b squared over 4. Okay. Then I can sub in this full formula. I don't even have to worry about how confusing it's going to look. I just need to try and write this where the only letter that's going to be left in it is going to be the b. So that means that a, I'm going to sub in as b squared over 4. And the c, I can sub in as 1. And it's all over 2 times a, which is now b squared over 4. Okay, so let's look at this and how we can simplify this. Okay, so my minus b is going to be carried down. Now, let's do out some of the multiplication from underneath the bracket. Okay, I'm going to have a b squared minus. Now, I have 4 multiplying the b squared and I have a 4 dividing the b squared. So they are going to cancel with each other. And I still have to multiply by 1, but multiplying by 1 just keeps it as b squared. So I have b squared minus b squared underneath my square root. And that is all over 2 times b squared divided by 4. Okay, so if I'm multiplying by 2 but dividing by 4, that's the same as just dividing by 2. Okay, so I'm simplifying 2 over 4 to being 1 over 2. Okay, so that can simplify to being b squared over 2. Okay, my reasoning there being why that can simplify is that 2 over 4 times b squared, which is what I had here, is the same as 1 over 2 times b squared, which is what I've written here. Okay, so now let's go through this and simplify further, because underneath the square root there I can see that I can simplify. Okay, so I can definitely simplify this because underneath the square root, what do I have? I have 0. Okay, so plus or minus a square root 0. I can write it down if I want. Okay, and then that's divided by, and I'm actually going to use the divided by symbol here to remind us of how we divide our fractions. So divided by b squared over 2. So here, this plus or minus 0, I better put all that in brackets. Okay, plus or minus 0, sure, that's not going to add or subtract anything. So I'm just going to be left with minus b. And then it's being divided by b squared over 2. So what do we do when there's a fraction dividing? I can flip the fraction and change it to a multiplication. So it's minus b multiplied by 2 over b squared. So if I do that multiplication out, top by top, bottom by bottom, minus b or minus b over 1, top by top, bottom by bottom, is going to give me minus 2b over b squared. Okay, now that's my 2 equal roots. Okay, so I have a root with a plus 0, which is that, and with a minus 0, which is that again. So that is my 2 equal roots. Okay, can I simplify it any further? Yes. Okay, I have a b multiplying the full top line and the full bottom line, so we can cancel one of the b's there from the bottom line with one of the b's from the top line. Okay, so I have a b on the top line, which can cancel with one of the b's from the bottom line. So there's still one b left because there was 2 b's there, a b squared. Okay, so this is what x is. Okay, and if I needed to, like if in the question it said find the roots, okay, it was 2 equal roots. So if the question gave me something like this with a space to write my answer down, okay, it is 2 equal roots that we have here because underneath the discriminant was 0. Okay, or underneath the square root, the discriminant was 0. Okay, so I knew I was going to have 2 equal roots at that point. Okay, so I have minus 2 over b and minus 2 over